words known to mankind. I use it all the time. Hey man, I trust you, but I'm gonna verify you. I trust you, but I'm gonna verify you. You ever meet someone come to hire you? You have a criminal record? No, I don't have a criminal record. Dude, I totally trust you, but I just verify. That's just my game. I always do it. It's robotic. So if you don't do that, that third one is what I didn't even learn from my mentors. I've learned this the hard way. Once you put all three in, it will transform your life. If you do one or two of those, you're gonna have a hard, sad, frustrated life. Trust me, I have been sad and frustrated before. Now I start grilling. Here's what happens too when you grill people. Joel Salatin used to always tell me the cream rises to the top, but also it filters out. In the Bible used to call this the dross, D-R-O-S-S. The dross is a term in metal when you have like gold or silver. Most gold has impurities around it. You take gold and you heat it to a very, 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 very high level, and all the dross melts out of it, and the only thing left is pure gold. So if you buy gold that hasn't been refined correctly, you're getting a lot of impurities. Same with your employees. The second you quiz them, it puts pressure on them. And some people will eventually just quit working for you. But then that's the people that you're excited to see go out the door, because they were nothing but dross. They were just nothing. They didn't have it. The fire tells the truth. And so if you just training is like being nice, right? Like patting people on the back, like, let me show you how to do it. Tutoring. So you could do some of that. But does anybody know what one of the great presidents said? Walk lightly and carry a big stick. Who said that? The Rock? President. Yeah, it was Roosevelt, I think, right? Theodore Roosevelt. It's the same thing. Train, that's the light part. But carry a stick, that's the double check on them. Trust but verify. Oh boy, this shit, I mean, I would honestly, without a doubt, give somebody $1 million if they had given me this advice 10 years ago. Right now, if I could get a time machine and I'd be like, this one video, all you people who say fucking, oh, why do I have to pay for every good piece of advice? Here's a free piece of advice worth more than anything I've ever put on YouTube if you're gonna build a business. Quiz people. Quiz people. It will bring the truth out. Because here's why. People lie, but numbers never do. Numbers don't lie. They're the only truthful thing on this planet. So you could just have somebody who works for you go, well, I asked you 8 quiz questions about what you did for me today, and you got 4 wrong. That's 50%. What's 50% in school? Motherfucking F. So it'd be like, you want this paycheck? There ain't no F's in this class. So just use the school system. Every 10 quiz questions, if they get 1 wrong, they get an A. 2 wrong, a B. 3 wrong, C. 4 wrong, D. And 5 wrong, out. You'd be like, you got a day to fix it. And then one thing I was gonna add, I brought this up before, the people, once they prove themselves, because you gotta be fair. You can't grill people that don't need to be grilled. You don't wanna waste your time. So once the good people get to the point where 9 out of 10 questions you ask them about their responsibilities, what they did today, what they're doing for you, if they're doing salespeople working for you, be like, how much money did you make for the company today? If they're like, well, I think let me do the math. What kind of salesperson doesn't know how much money he's making? It'd be like, fail quiz. You watch those. Write it down on a pad of paper. 5 out of 10, no, they're gone. 4 out of 10, you give them a warning. Basically, the way I'm changing my company, you don't have to start this way. I don't recommend it. I want to have 300 employees. I think I need 300 people. Employees, partners, things like this related business. Every one of them going to be Navy SEALs. For me, it's going to be that 300 test. I want 300 Spartan people that if it was a life or death situation, I know would stand the test. So mine's going to be 1 out of 10. You can be an A player or a 0 player. That's how the thing goes. So there, I took 29 employees with me, pan across this way. I said it. I will test you, each and every one of you. So I've been out of town a little bit, had other people managing. I am back. I will watch, and I don't care who you are, I'm gonna double check. I can't tell you how many people I know got money ripped off from them. Michael Jackson went bankrupt. He let his brother manage his money. But I read the story. His brother just accidentally squandered away, what was it, $1 billion he made? $500 million? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the basketball player, gave all his money to a financial planner, and he had to come back to play basketball those last years, not because he wanted to play basketball, because he had a fire. The financial planner didn't have insurance on his rare Persian rug collection. He lost tens of millions of dollars, bad investments. I read a story about, who was it recently? Same thing. I'm like, don't you Dane Cook? He said he lost $10 million. His brother took it out of his bank. Well, what the fuck's wrong with you giving people all that much access over you without testing them? That's your own fault. I'm not condoning people robbing you, but fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, fool me once, shame on you. Fool can't get fooled again. That's my George Bush impression. Yeah, fool me. That is a bitch of a one to do while you're doing public speaking, right? No, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But when it comes to money, which is what your business is and your employees are affecting your bottom line financially, it's the same thing. Check up on them. I did an experiment I've done once since I've been an entrepreneur of being super hands-off. It's not an experiment I'll do again. It's a failed experiment. You double check. And if you have a huge company, you got 500 people, you probably can't check all the way down, but most good CEOs, they go down there. I forget what CEO it is. Maybe the Google guys, one of them. They go and sit with customer support one day a month. Like they go from the highest billionaire status all the way down to entry-level jobs and sit in there at least once a month. General Patton used to be out there on the front line. General Patton in World War II basically was put in charge of this whole, the Ardennes battle in the Belgium and all that. Well, part of the reason we won is that was one of the first generals that put his neck on the line. He went right to the front lines. There'd be machine guns shooting, bullets getting, trucks behind him getting blown up. He wanted to see with binoculars. That's what he used to do. He's like, I have to see the battle myself. And that's you. And he was a 4-star general in the U.S. Army. He was the highest ranked one in some of the armies. Him and Bradley or whatever. Same thing with you. I don't care how big a company you have. Double check your shit. It's just pretty easy. You don't have to go haywire. It can be the simplest questions. It just asks. Here's the thing that's going to shock you when you guys do this. Start with the simplest questions. You got a secretary, just be like, what did you do today? If they start by, wow, yeah, that means they did nothing. Most people, about 50% of people will fail on the simplistic questions. You get a little harder. By the time you go 3 layers deep, I could do it to somebody here, but I'm not going to embarrass anybody working here. People work here are pretty good, but you're going to be a lot better soon. So I don't fucking become like Howard Hughes and isolate myself behind a curtain. We saw that movie with Howard Hughes. I was like, I understand this guy, boy. By the end of his life, he talked to nobody, which is a sad outcome, but I understand it a little bit. He literally had a curtain and he would speak. No one could speak to him. And the greatest thing that I saw Howard Hughes does, which I'm like, should I do this? Because people are going to take this the wrong way. If you asked him a question that was dumb, he just pretended you weren't there. People would sit there and be like, sir, should I? And this far, and he would just eat. Whatever. Howard Hughes, very smart man. Very, very smart man. And for each of you, usually you're going to hire employees that you have more experience, you have more know-how, so it's going to be easy to get frustrated because you're smarter than them at what you do. Assume they don't know what they're doing. Put in a training program. That's the carrot. Then the stick is the quiz. Once they're a D student, unless you want to have a D-level company, if you want to have an A-level company, boy, you'd be like, you're going to be an A. Jack Welch, largest CEO of GE, which was the largest company in the world, took it from a small company like $1 billion in revenue to hundreds of billions in revenue. He had a rule. Every year, the bottom 10% was fired, no matter what. You could be doing a good job. If you were in the bottom 10%, you were automatic. It was like robotic. And then if you were the top 10%, you were given a raise, always. And in between, you got a warning. You better get in the top. So I think I have those percentages right. I think it was 10, 10, and 80% in the middle. But I want to condense that. I want to be like, almost everybody gets a raise. 50% of people get a ton of money, and the other 50% is gone. I think that's better. Because for Navy SEALs, which is a business model I like better, one bad Navy SEAL cost everybody their life. In fact, I read a fascinating story about Navy SEALs. It was one of these sniper ones, and a guy froze up on them. How did that story go? He basically froze up and almost everybody died because of him. So they were like, anybody on the edge, the guy who froze up was a good person. Don't get me wrong. So a lot of people are gonna come work for you that are good people. But doesn't mean they have to work for you. They could just be your friend and you watch football games together. Don't hire them. So quiz. I'll be recording some more on this. Quiz. This stuff I talk kind of about in the accelerator program some of you might be in. Quiz the shit out of people. And it's just truly a great thing. You know one thing we should do? Anybody have a question and answer? I do well with people asking questions. Ben always has a question. My brother. You do, it's good.
Yeah, what are the main questions you're asking people?
So the main question, my brother Ben over there, hello Ben, his question was, what's some real practical examples? So assistance is a great one. Here's a thing that you could do with assistants. If they're managing your calendar, let's say it's a personal assistant, look at your calendar first so you know the answer. Don't quiz when you don't know the answer, you can look like an idiot. Look on your calendar. January 17th, it says you have lunch with Bob. On January 1st, be like, what do I have January 17th? If they don't know, and they're the one who put it on the calendar, it's a fail. Example of somebody who's managing your social media. I have people do publishing for me. I did this quiz actually today. I said to my staff, I said, because we were gonna bring a shirt with me that I remembered I already shot with on, and I have an Instagram picture with me in that shirt 2 weeks ago. So I said to my house staff, have I worn this shirt before? Half of them were like, nope. Half of them were like, yes. I said, this is what you do. You know, you guys wash the clothes, you look. If you don't know, but what it is people are lazy, so they're not observant. It's what most of it comes down to. It's just observe. That's why in the 67 steps, you gotta be aware. So mostly test people's awareness. So that's a good question, but test their awareness. Test around what they're doing. If you have somebody managing your website for you, be like, what was the highest liked blog post I did? If they don't know, be like, why don't you know? That's all you fucking do, is look at my website. You'd be like, I'm an entrepreneur. I gotta manage the bills, manage your payroll, do marketing, hire new people. You just look at the website. So my basic rule is, if you're specialized and I'm the generalist, you always know more than me. So there's no question I can ask you. The stumpability thing is a big thing. I promise you, top level people you can't stump. If you went into Bill Gates and think about Mark Zuckerberg, you think you could ask him a question about Facebook that he's like, I don't know? Shit, he knows a lot. It's the other way. People who work for him, he pays them and they just get by. Any other questions?
Or with the whole Sherlock Holmes thing, where he would tell Watson, I can't fill my brain with that type of information.
Right.
Because there's more important
yeah,
things
but
I should be aware of.
But that proves the point. So Zach was saying, in the Sherlock Holmes, there's a thing where Watson said, how many miles away is the moon? And Sherlock Holmes says, the mind's like an attic. It gets full, so I don't put useless trivia into my head. But what I'm saying is the staff, where you quiz them on what they're doing for you, that's not clutter. That's what they need to know. So that's a good point. If you have a marketing person, don't ask them what year the battle of, what year was the